Hello and welcome to this Adobe Express lesson all about the Great Hunger, also known as the Irish Famine. And today we're going to take data all about the Great Hunger to make our own infographic. So to start with, from the Adobe Express homepage, I'm just going to press the plus in the top left and I'm going to select landscape. Now you will have received a handout from your teacher which includes lots of statistics and number facts all about the Irish Famine. So to start with, I'm going to look at this statistic all about the Irish population. So I'm going to go to Adobe Express and I'm actually going to go to charts and grids. So we're going to use some charts and grids to display some of these statistics or some of these number facts. So I'm just going to go for a chart, like a bar chart. I'm just going to select this one for now. I think this looks pretty good. And you can see now we can start to input our data. There's only 2 bits of data that we have. So these 2 we can actually get rid of. So I'm just going to delete that row and delete that row. And now the first bit of data is from 1841. So our first one, we're going to put 1841. And our second bit of data is from 1851, which is 10 years later. And for value, we're going to put the Irish population at that date. So there we go. Here's the Irish population on these 2 dates. On chart type, I can go through and I can actually choose different ones depending on what I want or how much information I want displayed. So I like this one. It's got the total at the top and then it has the key. So I'm just going to go and put this up in the top left. Now I think we want a title for this bit of data. So I'm just going to go to text, add your text, and I'm going to go for population. And I'm also just going to put a little bit of text just to explain what this data is showing. So there's a little bit of text that just explains the data here. And now I'm going to add some more statistics from my handout. So here's another statistic which really shows the scale of the crop failure. So I'm going to take these key statistics, 40% and 75%, and I'm going to present them using charts. So I'm going to go down to charts and grids, and we've got various different ones here. And I quite like these ones, these progress donuts. I know we're not looking at progress, but it's still a good way to show a percentage. So I'm going to go for this one. It says 35%. And I'm just going to change the value in here to 40%. And I'm going to move it down to here. And then I'm going to create another one for 75%. And again, I'm going to add a title and a little bit of text explaining these statistics. So there we go, there's some more statistics there all about crop failure. And now I'm going to look at emigration, which is when people move to another country. And of course, millions of people fled Ireland from the potato famine and made new homes in places like America, Australia, and the British mainland. So here we go, I've added my statistics and my bit of text. Now for this one, I think it would be better to include some maps of the places that they emigrated to and where they emigrated from, which is of course Ireland. So I'm going to go to elements and I'm just going to type in Ireland map, see what comes up. This one looks pretty good, so I'm just going to add that to my page, and I think I'm going to find a map of Britain, the mainland, and also America and Australia. So here we go. Here is our infographic with all of our statistics, some text explaining them, and I've just added a title that says The Great Hunger. Now we want to think a bit about the design. So I'm going to go and choose some fonts. I'm going to add a background. I'm also going to add some rectangles behind each of my statistics. So I'm going to go to elements. I'm going to go to shapes. Make sure I've not got anything in my search. And I can see some rectangles here. I'm going to go for this rounded edge shape here. And I'm just going to place it so that it covers one of my statistics. Going to choose a nice color and I'm just going to send it to the back. I could just copy and paste some of these rectangles. So now what I want to do is change the fonts or the way that the text looks. So I'm just going to start by trying to find a nice font for the titles. There we go, that looks pretty good. I'm just going to go and change the rest of them to the same font. And now what I'm going to do is just add a little shadow behind each of my titles. So I'm going to go to population, go to effects, and I'm just going to add one of these shadows. Going to go for strong, but I'm going to make the shadow white instead. I think that looks pretty good. Going to do the same now, choose a font for my main bits of text. And there we go. All I've done is I've added a background by going to elements background. I've added a few other elements like the Irish flag and some potatoes, some little icons to support each of the statistics. So there we go, there is our infographic all about data about the Great Hunger or the Irish Famine. And now it's your turn to go and make your own infographic.